Hello and welcome to TFT World's last day, final lobby, game number 4. Enjoy.
Just like, but think it hurt.
Come on! Look,
Caster abuse.
There's one thing that's guaranteed in TFT, and it's that I am not a strong individual.
Yes, he is.
Don't let him fool you, everyone. Of course, we're going on to Rain's board. Lilia pair, come on. We can do it. Do a little Lilia reroll.
Yo, we need wins.
Oh, Talia 2-star.
yeah, true.
We need wins.
See, Talia, I'm just saying.
Hey, so here's something that that I was talking with Dan with about right before the show, and it's the players that are chasing down sword and belt. This has been a huge item for a lot of players. For Hwanmi, they want sword and belt. For Here We Go, they want sword and belt. For Rainplosion, she wants sword and belt. Now, coming into this third day, when any of these players got sword, they were finding top threes.
I mean, a sword is actually very heavy to contest, and especially Chinese players do practice their keyboard spamming APM, so they are actually very likely to get the itemization that want, and that does quite contribute in whether they are able to win streak during the early mid game or actually have a very decent item set up during the late game as well too.
I'm saying Rainplosion and a sword.
That's true.
Just saying.
That's true. Statistically, she's got to win.
Yeah. That's how stats work.
Yeah, that's how I've been told. I didn't do great in my stats class, but that's okay.
All right, Donger with the currently a 3 Dragonmancy setup so far, so if he's offered a Kaisa, he will be able to go for a 4 Dragonmancy tech on probably Volibear if he really wants to. We'll see what his augment choice is.
Awful items, though.
Yeah, very concerned on that. You do have like a Guardian Stone Plate if you want, but
Yeah.
you know that's a big. Oh, there's a rod on the bench.
Dragonmancy Crest!
Oh my
Told ya,
gosh.
told ya, called it.
Okay.
Called it.
Something we've been consistently getting is gold augments to start with. Okay, let's keep that up. Let's keep that up.
Keep it up. Keep it consistent.
Golds.
None of this prismatic nonsense.
Don't say it. It's like Beetlejuice. You say the same
you're
3
right.
times and it shows up.
Give us prismatic.
No,
That's-
just
Oh, no, I'm making it worse. Okay.
don't say prismatic anymore.
Wait,
Ah!
you guys still want golden eggs?
Oh.
True, that's for later. That's for the
For the final. That's right, last game, okay.
Dragon Mancer here, though. Oh, wow.
Titanic strength there from Life's Back.
That is a very rare choice to see on the Titanic strength.
Really? Someone took that?
Life's bad.
Ancient tech.
You're right. Life's bad did pick it. What in the world could he be thinking about? I guess he wants to just go for a Siphon Shioyu combination. He's decided already what he wants to go for.
Either a Siphon or an Olaf or something like that.
That's a pretty hard commitment to the Bruisers ended up being a carry in this spot. I mean, you're throwing away a gold augment otherwise.
I mean, he also made Ionics, which means he's not going to go for Siphon because Siphon decks don't really use Ionics that well. And if he loses a Rod and a Cloak, he's losing Bloodthirsters, Guinsus, all these decent DPS carry itemizations. What should he do?
Getting some heavy scale scorn feelings here. You know, Ionic Spark really plays into the scale scorn buff. It's dealing magic damage
Great for Diana.
or the 4 scale scorn there.
But I'm really worried because if you want to go for a scale score, the sign is usually having an early Olaf so you can scale the AD damage. That's usually a winning scale score composition,
Let me
right?
ask you this, baby. How many scale scorns have you seen this tournament?
One?
One, yeah.
Nobody's contesting it.
I think it's literally one
Oh.
scale.
That's how title's been winning with the Psalms, is they just go through
Yeah.
with Psalm every single
Well, and you
game,
only
it
need to
feels
hit
like.
7, and you can just roll for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Because you can go every single scale score and has been itemized to the point of being either defensive or offensive carry now that we've had Lilia reroll comps come out.
This is an interesting one.
As a TFT mathematician, I remember that contested compositions show up more and uncontested composition don't show up at all, right? Right? That's usually how it goes, right?
True.
We're great at stats, as we established in the creep stage.
This is kindergarten statistics by the TFT Dragonlance crew.
Here we go here with a Cluttered Mind. You know, Cluttered Mind's a pretty powerful one. It does hurt your economy, but it's like in a different way. It's like you're committing to spending gold on XP.
I mean, it's actually very interesting to see so many clear minds and cluttered minds as well too, right? Because like it just shows how much like a focus that these players have on such eco augments, and I'm very surprised about that actually.
Yeah, I personally love the early economy. A lot of times when you go look at like the aggregate data sites and look for these, they don't look that strong. But something I have personally noticed is that when it's very strong players that have these early economy augments, they tend to do extremely well with them.
Yeah, I mean, it's all down to execution. It's all down to knowing when you have the avenue for it. And here we go. Thinks he's got one.
Currently, Here We Go situation has Econ. He has an Econ augment, and he did go for Sunfire like a start. That means he wants to go for a strong. Note, look at his Nasus. He didn't put the Sunfire Cloak on Leona and put it on Nasus because he wants his Nasus, the unit with Sunfire, to survive the longest. So Leona soaks all the damage, theoretically, but Nasus got focused first there, man.
It also could just be to like play for the Lost Streak idea. Like you don't want your strongest unit to hold the Sunfire cape.
Ah, you're right. He could actually put on the weak unit to transfer his itemizations on a better unit later on as well, too. That's also a very decent point.
Yeah, well, it's looking like that's not going to work either way.
Okay.
The Lost Streak is now gone. Title's going to pick it up, and I'm noticing Title again with a tier. This has been their preferred starting item, and they had a Jeweled Lotus sitting as that first augment.
I mean, these tier techs is what Title is most comfortable in. He is actually the master of...
There's an Olaf.
What the... Oh!
It does have a rod, though.
I mean, you could go Rage Blade. It's not...
Title's a good.
Title's going Olaf.
All right.
That's what that means when you take it Olaf off a carousel.
Archangel's Olaf.
Title and Nathan here, and it's like, okay, go for Olaf, not contested. All right, good tip. All right.
No scout, no pivot.
Ooh, Hwanmi has got some interesting itemization there. I see a potential Yone angle.
Wow, 3 bows.
The big thing to point out here as well is that when players are hunting down first place finishes, there's 2 different ways they go. Either number 1, they try to go for these major win streaks, preserve a ton of health, get something very big snowballing, and take that to 9. The other one is they hold on to items and make ideal stuff. As Dan had mentioned on the analyst desk, the power level that these players have been capping is absolutely wild right now. So holding on to the items, I think, is a good call if you're hunting a first.
I mean, it's interesting how Hwanmi right now is actually having 2 bows, but he decides not to make either Runeans, nor Last Whispers, nor Rapid Fire Cannons. It means that he doesn't really want to win right now, and he just wants to see what he wants to do. It's actually very interesting that he didn't go for Runeans and Last Whispers just for tempo, but he's distributing the itemization so that he'll have more options and the ability to make stronger late game decks with completed itemizations.
Yeah, I have to say that Hwanmi, while they did favor Xayah, these first 2 days, they were also favoring Darkflight as well with that along with that as well. They had Ezreal reroll, they had a Seraph Graves, and they had a Yone reroll as well. So they're just keeping their options open, as it looks like.
I mean, the reason why it's like that is because these Chinese players really emphasize on getting top 4. All the comps that they brought in, the 2-cost like a carry compositions, the Darkflight composition, the 4-cost carry compositions. I don't think I remember the last time I seen a Chinese player play a Dragon comp, and that's because they focus on comps that they can get during the early game, save as much HP as possible, and guarantee a very safe and secure placement.
Yeah, it's a very good point, actually. When I go look at the compositions that Here We Go, that Zhongzhe and Hwanmi brought, there is 2 Dragon compositions?
Yep. Yeah, these Chinese players don't go for it unless they have like a really full win streak into a very favorite situation.
Raven's Axe with the Shimmer Scale.
Wow. Well, and I'm wondering where this is going here for Donggur, because you can look at his itemization. You see a bow on that Kai'Sa. Bow is pretty bad on any best-in-slot Kai'Sa build. If she's going to be your primary damage carry in the late game, you cannot risk having suboptimal items on her.
And I am proud to say Donggur right now is raising the tempo in the lobby by hitting level 6. That man is making me very proud right now at the momento. He is going to make sure to use his Shimmer skills to like a snowball his economy and finish off the game very nice and neatly.
Bebe would be level 6 here.
I am proud here. Oh boy, I am smiling. You guys can't see, but I am smiling so hard right now.
So yeah, I'm looking at the bow sitting on this Kai'Sa, and I do think that this is still an open angle because you have the Dragon Mancer spat at the start. This being an augment means that you really can't let go of this. If you let go of this as being some sort of primary focus, it's really gonna hurt. So this is telling me, like, if you go for Xayah here, that means this would like have to fall on a Shyvana later on.
Yep, that is completely what I was thinking as well too. Since he has a Draven's Axe, since he has a bow, since he can make like whatever he wants right now, I feel like instead of rerolling for a Kai'Sa 3-star, it would be much more better to level up and go for... Wow!
He's got a double Lee Sin off the PvE orb.
What?
He's got 4 Dragon Mancer now.
He's already on 6, so, Nidus shows up!
Okay! Interesting development here.
What do you do?
Check it. Check what is it first. He puts it in. He's thinking what to take out first. Take anything out is fine. Okay.
What? Are you kidding?
Okay, so 5 Shimmer Scale would give him Determined Investor plus Draven's Axe. We saw this exact same thing be a winning angle for Lifespan in the previous game. This is an angle Dongul can and looks like will be playing.
I am smiling so hard right now. Right now, Donggul is actually our Korean representative. Is actually looking like he's a spot to get a solid first place. I love it.
Smokes, yeah, slam the bramble, let's go!
And remember, all you need in order to qualify, no matter who you are this game, is a first or a second. That will put you in check and make sure the rest of the lobby catches up to you or loses the finals.
Oh man, I cast cursed him. No, I shouldn't have smiled so far. I should not have said first place. I'm sorry, Donggul.
No, that's not how it works. The Idis is inherently a weaker unit in that spot. You're giving up the primary strength of what your focus was, which was at the Kaisa sitting there. You can't roll down because
Guys, really quick question. If you have an Idis at 3-2 and you get Recombobulator,
You recombobulate for Shyvana, of course, right?
I would.
you need all the shimmer skills in place though. You have Draven's Axe and you have
not gonna go for it.
But that's a Dragonmancy Shyvana.
Yeah, just go for it. Look, if you're gonna get in, go for the first or eighth. I guess it's not checked yet, so he is gonna go for the Guardian Heart instead, breaking my heart.
Wow, the Electro charge here is, I think, a good silver augment pickup here for Lifespan. If you were going to continue to go that direction, I'm still getting some serious Olaf vibes here.
Yeah, I don't know. It just feels like a weird Soifin angle. Like, Titanic Strength hasn't shown up very much since the nerf several patches ago.
I feel like Lifespan actually picked Titanics in order to get a strong Bruiser start to match with Ionics, because Bruisers plus Ionics is, in the end, a very powerful start that does allow him to save HP and economy, and that's what he did here. He's at a full 100 HP with a 6 win streak going on. So this man actually isn't really thinking about his composition too much, but he's actually thinking of having a really good lead for the early mid game.
So we're trying to turn the gold augment into a tempo augment.
That's correct.
So does this get abandoned later on?
Well, I guess it's just going to be a throwaway augment because there isn't really any AD itemization except for time resolves, and the only unit that can use that is usually, you know, Siphon. So if he has to either go for Siphon, but I don't know if he'll be able to get photos with this.
We've seen it on Xayah recently. Like when players are going Dark Flight or they're focusing on Neela for the Lagoon compositions, it gives enough armor and MR at the end to where you're just barely living out those attacks onto the backline too. I mean, Titans feels like it's defined by the lobby that you're in, and not necessarily they immediately put an Olaf into play. Wow! I'm telling you, I'm getting the vibes from it. I'm getting the vibes.
All right, so we see Lifespan adding in Olaf after leveling. He has a 7+ win streak going on, so there is a lot of incentive to do so. He's up against Here We Go, who also has an issue with the Draven's Axe. What's going on here?
Well, I'm seeing a prep and cluttered mine on Here We Go's side. This is inherently like a strange economy, like synergy.
It's reading reroll to me though, because you're gonna want your bench full anytime you're going for a reroll composition. Rather, if you're getting free experience, you'll keep your bench full, and if you're going for a preparation board, you want someone on that bench.
I mean, I had the same thought. That looks really trolly, but at the same time, he's actually buffing up his like a Varus, so they'll do more damage for the late game. That's actually a very strange yet interesting and strong choice from Here We Go.
So as we come into the carousel and we're going to get a glimpse of items, there's a couple things I want to touch on related to augments. Tidal picked up a Jeweled Lotus first and a Tiny Titan second. This is great for building on an AP comp. When I look at Donggul's board, they started out with the Dragonmancer crest. They got a Guardian Heart to supplement that. They're giving you that 6 Guardian kind of vibe that can come in.
Yeah.
So big difference there. And then the last one is Fritz. Cybernetic Uplink 2 and Cybernetic Uplink 1.
Oh, disgusting.
Currently, I'm not really sure who's going to win the lobby for now, because Lifespan does have a full win streak going on, but since his deck is a deck that falls off, it is awkward. Oh!
Hold on, this is brutal here for Shunga. You look at his board, you look at his augments, Cybernetic Shell better together, also signaling that Lagoon Graves composition, but he's 38 HP. He's been full loss streaking, and on the roll down, all he finds is this Ao Shin.
And these Malphites. They're freaking Malphites.
Ooh,
Way
Malphite.
behind.
I mean, the Graves Seraphine comps doesn't really need a Graves for this setup. You just need your like a 2 and 3 cost 2-star save HP for stage 3. So he's not in that bad of a situation, especially if he finds Graves.
You know, I will disagree with you on this. I think that finding a Graves 2 isn't necessarily mandatory. I think finding a Graves is pretty important, though.
Yeah, he doesn't have a damage carry at the moment. He's going to sell away the Ao Shin.
It's the Seraphine. Seraphine's a damage carrier, and you're hoping that this is going to pad the impacts. The biggest one here is that it's a 3-5. Like, that's going to be the, the biggest quote-unquote carry ends up happening in this spot. But look, this is barely getting through at best.
Well, Admiral was right. He actually is barely like unable to win because of that one Graves difference. Wow, Nathan, amazing.
It's just tough. You know, you roll down all your gold in the hunt for this. You don't have anything that can carry this out.
But he managed to maintain his 8-loss streak while perfectizing like economy and HP at the same time as well too. So he didn't take that much damage. He got the extra like eco. I think he's not that bad of a spot if he loses one more.
Yeah, it's a good loss at that as well. He only lost a couple points of HP. He's not going to go down right now.
Good loss, good loss.
Yeah, good loss, good loss.
He wants to lose one more time. That's why he doesn't want like a reroll here as well too.
When does it stop being a good loss? That's all I want to know. Like, I'm getting worried here for Zhang.
When he loses the game, that will be unfortunate.
Yeah, right up until then, we got it.
Yeah, exactly. We don't even have to say that was a bad loss. We can say it's unlucky.
I mean, in Zunji's like a spot here, he actually does want to lose one more by like 1 or 2 more units because honestly, if you lose by 1 or 2 more units up until like a stage 4, it doesn't really hurt that much. It's not really that much of a like a deficit.
Yeah, we're going into the creep round, which is why it's highlighted. But again, you need to wipe out a large portion of your opponent's board. But right here, the Zyra stun, that locks them into a win instead. That is a lot of gold that's given up. However, you are only at 31 HP. I don't think the 8 streak is the one I wanted to pay here for it, but we're here now. What do we do?
Well, now I think you've got to rebound the tempo, right? Like, you have only 30 gold. You don't have the loss streak econ to rely on. You're at 32 HP. If you take a loss now, it gets you nothing.
If I were to phrase that in one word, no, not one word, in one phrase, it would be pray for RNZ and Mortag.
I did not notice this one showing up, but that is an Itis 2.
Wow.
That's sitting in play right now.
Strong upgrade there for Dongul, who has been on a massive win streak for going into the Wolves, recovered his early position, and he's still got the Draven's Axe to print him a little bit more items.
I don't know if Dongul will be able to maintain his win streak though, because this is actually the point where his composition starts to fall off. He does have a Xayah. Does he change out the Kai'Sa for Xayah so that he can maybe win the fights from now on? Because he is lacking damage.
That's... You know, this is a tough point, actually, to point out right now. You would be giving up a Dragon Mancer, so you go down to 3 of those. So suddenly it's not as much of a highlight, but you do get a Xayah in play. Okay, now I'm getting some serious, like, Dragon Mancer, Aoshin vibes. Is what
Or
I'm
even
getting from this.
Aesol. I mean, Aesol has such a low mana cost, it means one ult is probably just going to be 1 kill.
Yeah.
But to your point, Aoshin, the major problem he has is into AoE compositions. He just doesn't do enough damage to clear the board. Give him that amount of extra AP, that problem is solved.
Yeah.
I mean, for those who don't know, Dongul in this entire tournament has been going for dragons every single time he was offered an angle to do it. Even when he's level 8, not offered a great angle, he still goes for like a dragons and actually managed like a prevail.
Well, hang on. If you look at their first 2 days, they only went dragons 7 times out of the 10, with a Soifen and a Deja being 2 of the others. So, you know, not every single time, just, you know, every single time.
Oh, hold on, guys. We've got 2 players holding hands here. We've got Hwamie and Here We Go, both going Xayah with Draven's Axe for their gold composition.
Oh. Wait.
If you go Imperialist, no. I think Jeweled Lotus might be better, because Imperialist means you can't use a dragon frontline.
Oh, that is right, actually. Going for like a Jewel Lotus would actually insta-burst the damage output that Dongul's like a board has, especially since he'll have so much AP units.
Notice a lot fewer rerolls on this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do think the Jeweled Lotus does make some sense here. Even if you don't have an Infinity Edge, this is still offering you damage to some degree.
Well, hell, even for your Kai'Sa right now.
Exactly. It's just, you know, damage is damage at the end of the day. You don't have to have something ideal for it. You don't have to have the strongest thing available. You just have to be stronger than everybody else.
Is this a triple contested Seraphine Graves comp, or are we only at double?
Oh, I think there are at least 2 players for sure, but the third player I'm not entirely like a specific. However, Fritz does have 6 Zeries and double cybernetic uplinks. How good is cybernetic uplinks in these Seraphine Grace comps?
Oh, extremely powerful in these. The whole idea of it is you're trying to just provide a bunch of shielding and such.
I was going to say, extremely powerful if you have an item on the Seraphine.
Yeah.
So you put down that component just for us.
The Graves is going to be casting a little bit faster. You have the Edge Knight here to protect it. You need that sustain item as the last one, but you have Celestial Blessing to impact that a bit. So it's damage, or is it a sustain item? It's going to be the last thing, but look what you're losing to. It's a Seraphine Graves composition.
I mean, it's in hierarchy at this point, since Zunji has a better augments. He has better together, he has damage augments. He just mold over Fritz, which is quite unfortunate.
I'm going to take a hit here. from Life's Bad side, who is looking like perhaps the soy fan competition.
It was like
your items are just really not stacking up for much else. And it does make a lot of sense in this one, especially if you're going to take the Bruiser emblem as your last one here. Oh, wait, the Bruiser emblem onto the Shiou. That's a lot of damage.
That's what he was aiming for. I'm going to get Bruiser emblem on Shiou at stage like a 4. Of course.
Oh.
Who wouldn't try for that?
Yeah. That's what I do every single time I have option for a Titan
But this
Strike.
is so strong now because look at the Bruiser frontline as well. You've got the Olaf, who's been stacking all game. You've got the Jax, who is in his own right such a great defensive unit. Now you've got both Dragons.
I mean, we have to compliment Life's Bad here because look at this deck. Look at this build-up. How many people know this build-up? How many people knows the win condition of like a Titanic Force into like Electric Charge into a Bruiser Spatula? We have to give it to Argentina. Their deck research is amazing.
Yeah.
How many people are willing to risk it? Is more, I think, the important point.
Oh wait, never mind. It's weak.
Well, hey, hang on. You just went against the Better Together Stand United Graves build, which is the one you pointed out as just being nigh ideal at this point,
With
too.
3 items, with Cybernetic Shell, you know. I'm going to forgive Life's Bad's board the loss here. He needs a 2nd place in order to make it to checkmate, and he is taking the most scenic route I have ever seen, but I'm damn proud of him.
I'm actually really curious what happened Tidal in this entire game. He did pick, I think, judging by the size of that little legend, he does have a tiny Titan, so he would have been at 42-ish HP, which is actually not that good.
Yeah, it's Jeweled Lotus, Tiny Titans, and Ascension is what they ended up picking on this one. I'm really curious how that board gets built out, though, because we are in a spot where you were just absolutely dominating the lobby at this point, but it's still pretty tightly backed. It's got like the cascade down instead of the canyon from top to bottom, like we've been seeing. Zhengge has a win streak going at the bottom spot. Here we go, just hits Xayah 2. Look at all the 2s and the level 8s that are popping up here. Lord. Everyone is going in right now.
This is the moment where everybody is going to spike. I think Tidal really wanted to go for Deja, but I actually found Aurelia's Soul instead. He has 6 stacks on his investors. We'll see exactly how this gets.
Yes, I'm trying to figure where's the Draven's Axe, how do you use it? I mean, it's pure utility at this point, is what I think. And these are great items for the Aurelian Soul here, but you know, the Hextech Gunblade can be a major deal instead because it keeps providing that front line. We're just going to see how it pans out.
He's going to wait for it as well.
Ooh, Shroud. That's a nice Shroud.
Yeah.
Oh,
really
good shit right there.
Let's see how much damage this does. This is an ASOL 1. This is with Jeweled Lotus and an Infinity Edge. He's going to have... Okay. A lot.
The charge, though. The charge came in with the Rampage. That is such bad news.
Life's Bad will take the W here. Tidal going to take a loss, but this is not a concern for the Japanese player. Yes, down to 58 HP, but the Dragon is where he's waiting.
I mean, never forget that that was an ASOL with only 2 damage items. Of course, he has Ascension. Of course, he has like a Jeweled, like a Lotus as well too. So technically, it is 4 itemization if you think about it, and he can add in 1 more.
This is effectively a pair of Aurelian Souls as well because you just hit the items too, and you're at 7 stacks on the investor there, which means the Diamond Hands is coming up, which means you're getting 10 extra gold, which means you're going into Dragons maybe to look for that 3rd item. Or maybe you keep that item slot open so you can use the Diamond Hands there. There are all sorts of flexible possibilities here that can all add up to a big outcome.
Now, the biggest decision that Tidal needs to make here is that does he want to reroll at 8 for the ASOL 2-star gamble, or is he going to greed economy because he's actually in a really awkward spot between both?
I'm going to roll it here because you're getting the champion duplicator. That's me personally.
Well, and now he's got the gold for the economy as well. He's going to hit that 30 gold interest checkpoint. So he's going to have an opportunity.
Whoa!
Close fight there, but Huamie's Xayah will prevail. We saw him pivot up. That is a massive Yasuo. What's going on here, Dongul?
25 stacks on the Titans. The Dragon Mancer buffs as well. Rainplosion taking a hit here. We saw Rainplosion with a jeweled Lotus and the Ascension as well. So we have 2 players hunting down that angle of attack.
There's a lot of players going for it.
You're right. Currently, I'm looking at Rainplosion's like
is it the Chaos Dragon?
Chaos Dragon? Where?
Is this what it is? I mean, look at all this, the wacky stuff that's popping up.
Just watch Tidal's board here, middle right. Going to have a lot of opportunities for a powerful board. Rain, of course, here coming out of the Chaos Dragon, has sold a lot of her units here. Just going to be relying on this Deja carry.
The Mirages for this game is Duelist, so even if Rainplosion does not have a Guinsus, that Zeke in the Duelist synergy will be enough for the attack speed, and she just needs to fit it with a bunch of damage optimization. I think that's okay.
Well, we only have a Giant Slayer and an Archangel Staff to go along with that, and the Bloodthirster looking like it could go there, but it's feeling more like a frontline item to me at this point.
Aha! But yes, look at the augments. Jeweled Lotus into Ascension. Now that's going to be a powerful Deja for sure.
I'm kind of... I'm torn on the Bloodthirster here. My heart is like pulling me in two different directions on this.
I think it depends on how Rain wants to play, right? If she's playing for top 4, you slam that Bloodthirster right now. But if you are playing for the absolute top 1, you wait, you risk the carousel.
I feel it's okay to just give the Bloodthirst as well too, because she doesn't want her like a Deja to die to Acel later on for the AoE damage.
Zephyr comes, I'm sorry, the Shroud comes in on the left side here. Braum is going to be in a great position to hold this down for a bit though. Deja taking a step to the right. Oh, great wave. Yeah, it's coming out in that
Oh,
spot as
evasion! That Pantheon has 40% evasion. It's dodging everything. And now it's dead.
Yeah. Good damage
so
there
much.
from Deja, but it's
Graves.
just not going to be enough.
Yeah. So she's going to hold it for the carousel, it looks like. I mean, yeah.
I mean, the reason
hit.
why Deja couldn't do much damage was because her auto attacks was on Pantheon, and Pantheon had 3 evasive itemizations, so it just kept on missing and missing and missing, and bought so much time for the opponent to win that fight.
We saw Dungu use all their gold to go to level 9 as well.
Oh,
So this is a big one. 10 gold left
Shyvana.
to work with.
she got it.
Yeah, that could be the
Sam-
Shyvana pickup here.
I don't know if you're going for dragons. You have 6 Guardian right now. Like
Yeah.
you're just looking for the big AP at the end. Like, does Shyvana hold the spot
Shyvana,
right now, or do
big
you want
AP.
the Shimmer scale?
Big AP, Shyvana. Nope.
Well, where does it go though? You're either giving up Guardians or giving up.
We'll have to see about that right now.
Oh gosh, this is hard.
Dongo went for a bit awkward approach, so he will take some damage here, but thankfully he does have 44 HP, so he's not in too much trouble. He's also at level 9, so he can find Soraka, so he'll back up, so he can make his decision very slowly. It's not going to be much of an issue.
Title found a Guardian's emblem through the dragon portion of this, and that is
the
massive
shields.
right now. Having that 6 Guardian potential on your side with it being on your backliner as well, it's very difficult to kill this unit right now.
Oh my god! What a massive explosion.
And look at what the
Goodbye,
shield from the
Triple.
Guardians does. At the very least, it's going to be eliminating some of the opposing boards, so you just don't take as big of a hit. So close to being
This is
a
also
tipping point.
This is also before like a Dongle managed to find his carries. Once he finds his carries, oh, those Terras?
Terra pair.
Awkward, right? How do you fit those in, right? Your synergies are very decent.
Well, if you want to drop your Shimmer entirely, you've now got a Guardian Yasuo. If you want to drop the Shimmer, decide Diamond Hands isn't worth as much, pick up the Terra pair, you can put in another dragon later, you've got great items for an Acel.
No, it
I
just
don't know.
feels so hard to do. I don't want to.
I know. But these games are all about finding the highest cap possible, and I think that's what Dongle is going to debate here.
It's only about fun.
Dongle
True.
right now is
We're only playing for like a
We're only playing for fun and $150,000.
yeah. Just go ahead and have fun with it. Up against the Xayah in the back left corner here, a Deathblade plus a Rage Wing. I'm sorry, a Rage Blade on this one, plus the prep that's been happening. I'm curious how many preparation stacks are across the board right now, but your front line, it's still not 100% there, it seems like, but your damage right now is still the Volley Bear. Like, it's going to be vulnerable at this spot. The fact that he's even holding up here to any degree tells me that they still have a great spot to find a carry.
This is a really good calculation for Dongle. The reason why he's not investing down to 0 to find his carry fast is because he knows that he's not going to take too much damage. He's at level 9, he can find a Soraka, he has 44 HP, so he's greeding as much money as possible so he can get that juicy first place.
Okay, let's take a look at this carousel here. We were talking about Rainplosion, saying she has that extra Bloodthirster. We don't know yet if she was able to blow it, but I'm not convinced any of these items are particularly better for her than a Bloodthirster.
We saw
Maybe Titans?
We saw the Dragon Claw go very early here to Tidal. So Tidal's extremely concerned with being eliminated or wiped out by one big hit is what that kind of tells me in a spot like this. And we're seeing a lot of these utility items just not be favored right now. So Life's Bad getting a Locket at the end, a Shojin, a Shroud showing up. Nothing here really like stands out to me as like, oh, this was the critical moment.
Yeah.
So
Tidal did roll down, as you said. He tried to look for the Acel, but I guess it just wasn't his game. He couldn't find it until the end.
Yeah.
Desperately, he just rolls for a Deja. He finds one in the shot. That feels so bad for it to happen.
Oh.
There is a trick that he could have done. He could just sold the Rakan like a 2-star instead, and that gives him enough money to add in the Rakan 1-star, and that way he could save his Nikos, but very, difficult situation.
I do agree with the roll down. It is a low roll at that point. I do agree with the Deja pickup here, and you need the 2-star this round. You're only at 15 HP. Just try to tick it up a bit.
Here we go.
Oh man, this looks rough. The enemy is going to Lifespan. Lifespan's composition is actually well equipped to deal with this. How will the fight go?
I'm looking at this Siphon, and I'm getting some bad feelings about this. I'm getting some bad feelings about this!
Whoo!
Oh, it's going to run away. It's going to run away.
There's the Ascension coming out for the Deja, able to rip down
It's gonna run back.
that
Okay.
Siphon down so low. But now Shio-Yu's trying to find it, but Titan among Titans, she cannot find the win nonetheless.
Big part about this, too, is Tidal, 13 points. You were hunting down 5 points in this one. You were literally targeting top 4.
I mean, look, every point matters in a finals like this. And look, the HP is 5, 8, 15, 17, 18, 18,
Insane.
28, 32. This lobby is a very close one.
We could have our entire lobby reduced to top 4 in just 2 more PvP rounds.
Another Deja composition from Rainplosion. Zeke's into... Oh, she couldn't find her third damage itemization for Deja and decided to Bloodthirster to Yasuo instead. I hope that this is going to be good enough. The targeting will be very important here.
Oh, I'm getting some bad feelings about this.
We've seen how this goes
Much better feelings
before.
about that.
Will Deja do what she needs? Rips through Shio-Yu, and Siphon still uncontested for the time being. And it looks like not even the wave will threaten him. He tries to go for a chomp. Instead, solo targeted among 3 and will fall. Rainplosion will survive.
I was so terrified when that wave missed.
Nobody died. Nobody died.
How?
Even Fritz is alive.
What is going on
this?
right now? We're going to have all 8 players alive in stage 6.
I mean, one thing to know is that the Chinese players at the beginning was actually at the bottom of the lobby and they climbed all the way back up to the top.
This is the Shunga special. This is what he does. In one of the games in TOC, he was down to 13 HP in 6th place and turned it into a first. This, if you're looking for a strength for this player, you have found it.
Now, if you look at this lobby, this is what high-level TFT looks like. Since none of these players are making any major mistakes, since none of these players are building into weak, non-meta compositions, they are actually hanging in just by a thread all the way up to 6-1.
The only thing I'm going to point out here is that Graves hitting the bench right now. I'd be terrified that I accidentally sell this thing. There's no way I'm putting that thing on the bench.
He's a pro, don't worry.
I'm not risking it, not even for the stacks. Look, there's still 8 left to go. Was it worth it for me? I'm too anxious, too worried.
Oh man, that was interesting. Right now, it seems Zunji is going to keep on rolling. I'm not sure exactly what he's looking for.
Seraphine,
So
one more.
Okay.
Seraphine 3, they're cutting out a couple of 3s when they find it.
Oh,
The Volley Bear just really wants to It's like, put me in, coach!
there's going to be the Lee Sin, continues rolling.
Oh!
There it is!
Great roll down.
Seraphine now on the board for Shunga. We're going to check out Fritz, his competitor in Water Gun versus Tidal, the Japanese champion.
This is looking terrifying to me right now. The Deja, it is going to get locked on the Graves, but that's where the Edge Knight ends up dropping that. Graves turns to the left. That's not what you want to see. The wave comes in. And as soon as this Rakan gets taken out, it's back onto the Graves right now. So the Graves, the solo reliant damage right now as the attack speed starts to get built up, and it doesn't look like it's going to be enough. That's looking to me like Deja's going to pull through a pretty easy victory here.
Deja pushing through. One more wave will take the Zeri low, and it is too little too late for this board. Fritz not able to hold on, falls out in 8th just by the HP totals. 5 players left in the lobby.
Wow. I mean, never forget that Fritz actually has 17 points. So even if he does get 8th here, he is actually 18 points. That's not going to be sad. But Rainplosion actually needs one more win in this case to make that happen.
Rainplosion 8th, Fritz in 7th, Lifespan in 4.
Rain came into this one with 15 points as well. All she needed was a 6, but falls just short.
Oh, look at Hwamei's war at the moment. Look at his items. Look at his augments. He has Ionics and Morellos from Athe's Gauntlets, Shyvana, and he does have Blue Buff on Hecarim with the Shroud that perfectly hits. How's that going to go?
Well, Shroud hits the other side as well. This is looking pretty tough right now because when you're sitting at that low HP, positioning is everything. It was great here to amplify the best friends. A big stun from the Shyvana, but is this going to be enough? The Graves still sitting in that back line. 25 stacks on board right now with that Titan.
It's down.
And this is going to be tough tough right now. There's no way the Xayah holds through with this one. It's just way too stacked on Graves' side.
Hwamie, the two-time world champion, has fallen in 5th place. It's up to Shunga, the winner of TOC, to get it across the finish line.
Come on, Dongul, come on!
Oh!
He lives, he lives.
We're down to our top 4, and finally, Shunga, here we go. Title and Dongul will be fighting for checkmate.
And look at the call that Title had made to get away from that Aurelion Soul, to go for the Deja, and look what it's caused right now. This was like the difference between 8th and 4th at least.
It legit was the difference. If he lost any fight in between, that would have been an instant 8th place, and the Argentinian players would have gotten a bigger advantage. That is for sure. The next fight is going to happen, and that is going to decide who the top 2 players will be. Let's see. We're going to look at Title's board, and the enemy is going to be Xayah.
Okay, the Xayah will be crossed from the Deja. Neither will be targeting the other. So it's all about the front lines. Watch those Idases. They'll determine the fight. Xayah will fire away, but misses onto the Idis. That's going to be Title taking down. Here we goes, Idis. Level 9 or no. It's not going to be enough to stop this Deja. Finds damage onto the Jace. The Shyvana soon to follow. Flame Breath will not be enough. And the wave into the back.
Guardian Shield!
Title will find it. Here we goes down.
Title gets second, and that's 18 points.
Dongul got knocked out in 4th place, minus 15 in this one. Title has made a top 2 from an 8th because they sold a pair of Aurelion Souls, because they basically sold a pair of Aurelion Souls to bunch of Deja.
Not finding the Aurelion Soul was actually a win condition for Title. It worked into his favor. That is amazing. He went down all the way to 8th place and survived all the way here to a 2nd, guaranteed 18 points.
Both China and Japan's representatives, their champions, have made it to checkmate. Next game, they could take home the title of world champion.
Now, if you look at the upgrade levels, the upgrade level is a bit more in favor of Zunji. Zunji has a Shroud. He has a Seraphine 3-star. They're both 4-cost 2-star compositions, so we have to see if that one Seraphine 3-star is the deciding factor for victory of this game, or whether Deja, with perfect augments and itemizations, will be good enough.
This could be the final fight of the game. 23 HP for Shunga, 8 for Title. Look at the backline here. Zephyr misses the Graves, so he will be firing away. Morello from Seraphine comes out with one more auto, and it means the front line will start to get ripped through here. Title still safe in the back. The Graves is targeting the front line, which gives enough time for the Ascension. Deja, fully Ascendant Dragon, will find one wave. 2 auto, 3 down, 4. Deja takes down the Graves. Seraphine, the only one left to keep Shunga's round alive. But they will not find enough damage. The Guardian Shield. Shunga down to 11. This next round is the last round of game number 4.
What a match between China versus Japan. Both sides are not giving it easy for the other. I said Zunji had the upgrade advantage, but now he's panicking, he's rolling. He's wondering how he can beat that composition that Title made.
It's so difficult to beat. I mean, you're having to dodge the Zephyr, you're having to get the Graves in the right spot. The Graves working its way in front of the Deja was inherently a massive liability because it didn't get the target in time.
I feel the most important factor is to make sure Lee Sin kicks the Idis away so the Idis does nothing. I think that is one of the things to consider. We'll see what happens in this fight.
Watching the Lee Sin here, positioning will be everything, but the Lee Sin's been swapped. And now we're going to see the Seraphine. Shroud once again is beautiful here from both players. So Title's Deja will not be able to find the wave. Bard ult hits onto the front line, meaning the Graves just gets to tear through them. The Idis down to half. Shield is up, but the Graves falls once again. And Title's Deja continues to fire away. Seraphine may ult, but it will not matter. The Ascendant Dragon is Title takes it home.
Japan actually managing to beat China. I have never seen anything like this with only a Deja 2-star as well, too. That was an amazing match.
It's such a strong spot for Title as well, because going up against a Grave Seraphine at the end, your whole damage is